Tonight we have two very exceptional speakers. Our speaker this evening, number one of two, is Hagit and Shoshan. She has 20 years experience and has formerly worked in Oracle and Air France, and is currently the VP and head data scientist at CoolaData. We also have with us tonight the general manager of CoolaData, Sandy Selinger, who's formerly from Links and Accenture.
Thank you very much, Eric. So thank you everybody for coming over and to listen to our little talk here tonight. I know you've answered a whole bunch of questions. I have a few extra ones without prizes this time. Just general show of hands. How many people here are students? Students. Hi, all of our interns for the summer. Thank you very much. How many people here work in financial services? How many people here work in media and publishing? How many people here want me to stop asking questions and want to end this before we get to see England, US versus Argentina tonight?
Really? No one?
No one? So in any case, we are going to be done well before the US-Argentina game, I promise. So again, my name is Sandy Selinger, and I run the operations for CoolaData here in the US. And I think this is our VP of Data Science, and she is going to go over all of the technical parts that I don't know. So in any case, yeah, this is the two of us, and this is a way that you can get in depth with us. We have I'll step out of the way here. There is our email addresses and my Twitter account if necessary. We're happy to talk, and we will be here also for after this presentation and answer any questions if anybody has any. So a little bit of background about CoolaData. So CoolaData was established in 2012. And as it says there, we have operations. We have operations in the US, in Europe, and a lot in Israel. We crunch quite a bit of data from our clients over a month. And actually, one of the things that we do, which is kind of interesting for all of you guys, and I'll show you perhaps at the end, there's also we crunch data for GitHub, which I invite you all to go and check out at some point. We have quite a bit of nice clients, and some of those names I'm sure you recognize. There is also, mentioning here some of our technical partners and some people that we have tie-ins already in order to enrich our platform. And lastly, just mentioning some of our founders, some of our funders, some of our backers, and thank you very much to them that we're helping us stay in business and keep on doing what it is that we're doing right now. So in looking at analytics and when looking at discussing analytics in general, you guys probably all know that most analytics answers questions like, how many, how much, where from, where, all kinds of things that give us all kinds of data points that are kind of like points in time. And those are excellent and very important pieces of information for us to know, but what they don't do is they don't allow us, or don't help us understand the cause and effect of how people interact and what they do with whatever it is, app, website, whatever it is that we are using as a platform. And so that area of actually answering the question of how, what, and why is what CoolaData does as a core business. And so in looking at how cohorts work or how people interact with your platform, what are the paths that they are taking within the platform, what are the paths they're taking within your website, what works, what doesn't work, and so forth. That is what CoolaData focuses on, and ends up being the offering that we do that is a little bit different from other places. We refer to that ability to look at analytics over time as behavioral analytics, and we'll show today a few different paths and so forth of how to do that and why that is interesting. So samples of business questions that can be, once you introduce the idea of behavioral analytics, some of the business questions that you can answer become a lot more interesting. Like, for example, what paths is the most engaging one for my clients? What causes people to convert? What doesn't cause people to convert? These are all very interesting questions to ask from a business point of view, which is why behavioral analytics is super important. What do you mean by convert? By convert. Okay, so, like for example, if I take a situation where I have a freemium site, or let's say I have an e-commerce site that I want people to buy something, so I want to convert the visitor to being a paid person, a paid customer. So converting them from where they are to helping me out. As far as if you look at the life cycle of a customer, you can use behavioral analytics and the CoolaData platform to help in every one of the different areas. But the ones that really kind of resonate and really help you grow ARPU, increase lifetime value, increase engagement and retention are in the areas of monetization. And so that's the green graph we see on top of what's going on here is where you peak with use of behavioral analytics and CoolaData. So what we're primarily going to be talking about today and what we're going to be showing are three core areas in which we use behavioral analytics best, and that is in the funnels, in the cohorts, and in the paths. And we're going to show how to do and why the analysis within funnels and cohorts and paths is super important.
Yeah, so in this area, we are collecting the data, we're in the business analysis and the behavior for we need to track the application on the website in order to get information. For that, we are providing a JavaScript SDK or iOS SDK, Android SDK, or any native SDK that is collecting the data and sending the data to CoolaData, which is actually a database, a time series database in the cloud. Once the data is in the database, we are ready to start a deeper analysis of the data. And for deeper analysis, we need to look for signals. And signals is something that is behavioral. And what is behavioral? Let's just take some examples. We will talk about funnel analysis, which is a sequence of events that a specific user is performing. We will talk about cohort analysis and about attack analysis.
So for example, if you look at just the idea of a funnel, so a funnel is a set of steps that you want that a user is doing in order to get from one point to another. So you can just look at the most basic one, step 1, step 2, leading to step 3. In CoolaData, it looks a little bit different.
Okay, so in CoolaData, it's not like a batch of KPI. You know, sometimes we're measuring how many people do impression and how many of them will click, but we are not sure that we are collecting the same user activities. While working with CoolaData, we are talking about the behavior of one user. So what we are doing here, this is an example of funnel analysis, and we can look at the left side. We are looking at the whole population of users. We give everything in the same session. Session is one visit of the person. Okay, it's really important to see that the conversion or the desired set of activities happen in the same session, in the same visit, in the same 30 minutes that this user visited our site. So what we're doing here, we are asking a question, show me all the users who did open my panel, and after that close the buying panel, and after that deposit, and all these activities should happen in the same visit, in the same session. So as you can see here, we can see that the global conversion between the first step and the last step is less than 1.5%, which is normal. Okay, this is the conversion example of the gaming industry. Okay, it's just a thing data that we generated randomly based on the experience that you have. It's not a real data of users. But while digging into it, and this is something that we can do in CoolaData, we can break down each part of the funnel by any property that we received from the user. So since we are enriching the information based on the IP address of the users, we know exactly which country, until down to the resolution of the city that we received the data, and we know from which device they were sent. So we can just drill down and dig into the data, and you can see here that when we are just slicing, breaking down the data, we can see here that, for example, the users who originated from the United States converted better than the other users. So we have 1.6% of users from the United States, and then users from Brazil didn't convert at all. So we probably have something wrong with the market in Brazil because nobody deposited anything in Brazil. This is something that immediately can be shown by using CoolaData. An additional options we can do here is, instead of asking to see all the funnel in one session, you can define the funnel window, which is really important. Okay? The funnel window is the amount of time, is the length of days that we allow the user to convert from step A to the last step. In this case, to the third step. Okay? So instead of having everything in one session, and remember, everything is just sliced by the same date range. But the same date range that we see here, this is something that is happening in the same session. But here we're saying, you know what? The conversion funnel is for 7 days. So this could happen in Sunday, and this could happen on Thursday. It's still within the same date, within the range that we just defined here, 7 days. Okay? So as you can see here, the number is now getting higher. Okay? Because maybe a person did not convert in the first session, but then he came back 2 days later and deposited, and we will see this result in the funnel here. And also we can do the same. We can just break down everything by countries as we did before, and see again that the people from the United States converted even much better. Now it's 3% of the deposits, 3% of the global conversion from the original audience.
One of the cool things about using CoolaData in order to do these kind of things is that every one of the cubes that you see here is a bunch of users and a bunch of data. You can export that to whatever it is, let's say marketing application you're using, or something like that, in order to actually continue marketing to the same group of people. So let's say you're taking only the people that converted, and you offer them something special, or you take only the people that didn't, and you offer them something different. So you can actually, you grab the groups of people based on their activity and based on their behavior, and you continue to interact with them.
How do you track the user for 7 days? A cookie? It's just
Yes.
Yeah, it's a cookie, or if it's a registered user within an application, so we're using the user ID. Okay, and once we have the funnel, and we will show immediately the syntax of the funnel, we can use this funnel in order, for example, to compare the funnel in different ways. So what you can see here is day by day, and each line here is representing the funnel of that day, all the users. And then we can see that in a specific date, the global conversion was much better than in other days. So this is the representation in a table, but we can also show this data, the same insights here in a graph. So you can see here that this day was very bad in terms of global conversion. This day was amazing. Okay.
So one of the things that's interesting, how many people here write their own SQLs? There's quite a few people. So when we said at the beginning that we have a CQL, Coola SQL, this is the syntax for the funnel that we just watched before. that is written in CQL. And you'll see that it is a very short, very condensed version of what you would have to write yourself if you were doing this whole thing, the same kind of funnel that we were just describing, but writing it all in SQL. Yes.
Yeah, so as you can see here, those widgets that we just saw before are generating this CQL in the background, and this CQL can be written by each one of you from any tool. Because we have an open platform, we can also execute this kind of queries from Excel, from Google spreadsheet, or from any third language that is accessing our database. So let's take a look together. We're just selecting columns that are desired for this query, and we're starting the CoolaData from here. First of all, we do have something called date range, and date range is the slice, the time that we are selecting from, and then we're starting the cluster. Cluster funnel by session means that everything should happen in the same session. I could also write here cluster funnel by 7 days, or cluster funnel by user, which means all the user lifetime. And then all we have to write here is just the steps followed by each other. Okay? Start with open, followed by, followed by.
So in a sense, the funnel clustering is a function that you provide. There are a bunch of other clustering functions as well that we also offer?
Yeah, we do have a few cluster functions, and we will display all.
Talk more about the database itself, not just what is that database?
Let us get
talking about? Is it a key value or a document or what is that?
What?
There are some types of
No, we didn't say that. We're relying currently, we're using the Google BigQuery as an infrastructure, and we also have a version that we're using right now called Redshift.
So you need the BigQuery kind of underneath
You don't.
the structure. So
We
you can work. Right.
you don't.
We're doing.
What do you mean we don't? I mean, if
CoolaData does, but the users that are using CoolaData don't need to have, they don't need to have a specific account or a specific access to that. We take care of it.
so you provide access only for somebody who is kind of the cohort who connects to it, right? You don't provide any systems that you can install on customer side.
We can't, no. So you can get, if you have a customer that, if you have a customer that has nearside servers, you have the ability to collect the data from them in different forms, REST API, or if they,
But you're saying we, you mean you as a company?
We'll have,
you
we'll
as a
have
cohort?
Q&A at the end. We got to have
yeah,
a
let's
presentation.
continue that. So we were talking about this funnel that is a very simple funnel, step 1, step 2, step 3. One of the things that is unique to CoolaData is the ability to actually say, okay, how about if I have step 1, step 2 might be this or that, and then leading to step 3. So CoolaData has the ability to make that funnel as well, and it's still in representation, it can look exactly the same. In this case, what we have here is that there are 2 elements that can go into step 2, and then get to step 3, which will be the same thing. The syntax for that, for example, is actually very similar, with just the addition of an OR step here. So it's a very simple language to execute.
And as we just said before, nothing is pre-calculated, and everything can be changed just on the fly, and we're getting this huge amount of data with the data, and every time we're accessing the data, we're accessing the raw data. And this is giving the ability to CoolaData to export each time a selected group of users from the widgets that we have here. So we can use either the widgets or the CQL that is generating the download. And every time we're pressing on a specific slice of data, either on the selected users or maybe that's sometimes much more interesting on the churn user. We did nothing there. We just like to mark this population and retarget any marketing campaign or something like this for this population. analysis, or we can just generate a SQL that is running on a schedule base and sending these results into any other system.
So that's as far as the funnels go. There are, of course, a lot of different ways that you can use funnels within CoolaData, but I want to keep it moving and talk about a few other elements. So let's address for a moment the idea of cohorts. So the idea, of course, what we refer to as cohorts and what is referred to in general is a group of people that have a starting point that is unique to that entire group that is interesting to us. So let's say, for an example, a group of people that have all responded to a specific marketing campaign that I had. Or maybe a group of people that all signed up or came to our site for a specific day or specific month, and I want to now follow their activity and their behavior over a period of time, looping all of them together as a single entity.
Okay, so let's talk about cohort. The ability, we think that heat map is the best way to display cohort. But of course, you can use any other visualization for that. So looking at this, we are looking what is a cohort. So cohort is a group of people who did something in a specific time together, something in common. So it could be, for example, all the people who just show the same page or did page view in a specific date. Or all the people who registered in a specific date. Or all the people who just came from a specific location, city, country, no matter what. We're looking at that population of people that have a combination of did something in a specific time, and then we are tracking the activity of that group a long time. And we are looking in the activity in units that we are calling them bucket. Each column here is representing a bucket. So we are looking at all the people who did page view in this day. Okay, and we have more than 400,000 people who did it. And from those people, we're trying to see if they did another thing. Okay, that's how we are measuring the retention or the engagement of the people. So now we're looking and say, okay, from those people who started, who did page view event in this day, how many of them did share in the week later, or in the same week that they just did the first initial activity, which is page view. Okay? So we can see here that in the same week, 54% of the people did also share, and 1 week later, 4.1% did share, etc., etc. And of course, a person could appear in more than one cohort, because if somebody did page view here and did also page view here, we can count the same person twice because he belongs to two different cohorts. And so we can, of course, tune in and say, okay, show me only the first time that I see this user is belonging only to the cohort that I saw him the first time. And also here, if this person did share in this week and also in this week, how should I count this person? So everything is in the widget of CoolaData. You can define you can define the flexibility of the cohort that you like. And of course, you can modify all the time the criteria for the cohort. So for example here, the same population, this is the same data. We were looking here by the day that people did page view. But then I decided, okay, you know what, I don't know, I want to compare between different populations. I want to compare between my guest users, paying users, and registered users. And I have 3 types of users. So I just took this widget and modified the cohort criteria. And what you can see here, this is the same. All the people who did page view in the same date range and then did share by weeks later. And as you can see here, the people that are paying users are sharing much more than people that are guests, or more than people that are registered users. And this is something, you don't need to think in advance what kind of analysis you would like to perform with. You can just play with the criteria all the time and then find the differences between different cohorts. Okay.
point in time, all the people who did a purchase, when they registered, how many weeks prior to the purchase moment they just appeared, they shown up first time in my system, okay? And this is really helping us to understand the cycle or the influence of the marketing on the purchase. So this is something that is also built in predefining CoolaData. It's called reverse cohort. And that's what we are doing. We are defining what is the target event, and then going back in time and looking when we have seen this user before.
Two things for me to add to that. One is reverse cohorting is excellent for figuring out, for example, if people are churning. So if you look at a reverse cohort of all the people that churned, and they all did one activity just before they left, then you know that you have a problem right there. And so reverse cohorting is very useful for understanding, especially that kind of activity. Second thing, so we have right here, this area is blacked out. The way that the CoolaData works is that's my cursor on my screen at the office today. If I were to click on that, I can just collect those people and export that data out, again, to whatever it is that whatever other system I want to use it. And I can look through it, of course, through any other system that it will accept a CSV. So lastly, after talking about funnels and cohorts, I'd like to talk a little bit about paths. And as far as paths go, it really is, you want to look at how the general flow of people throughout your application, your website, or whatever it is that you're looking at. And what we have found is that the most interesting way of showing that in a visual format ends up being the sunburst view. Because the way that this sunburst view works is that basically the inner circle is the first step. And every additional circle above it, it gives you another step in the path that the user is doing. So in this case, you have this path is listed out here. And so you see you have step 1, step 2. Let's say, for example, in this case, this is the e-commerce one. Right? Yeah. But we have a situation here where everybody started, 100% of the people started in step 1, view page or something like that. But now we see that 50% of the people showed up. The next step after that was look for support, which actually probably means that we have something really bad going on with our site or with our application. But the good news is that a lot of them continued moving on after they went to support. That actually means that our support is working very well. So that also gives you some kind of an indication of what's going on. But you can actually look through that and see all the steps that people are taking with your the path that they are doing with your application, and the kinds of the directions that they're taking and the paths that they can take are really could be quite endless. And so that's why you have all of these different areas.
You're following every conceivable path? You're following
Yes.
everyone that you found?
Yes. So it would show up. So for example, if it went from here to here, that's a different path. It's a completely but let us show you a little bit a few other of these things.
Okay, now in opposite to funnel analysis or to cohort analysis, here we are not defining what we like to see. Okay, sometimes the funnel analysis is looking for searching the problem under the lamp. Okay, we know what we're looking for, and that's what we're monitoring. But by working with SWOT analysis, we're asking the system, you know what, give us an indication what the people are doing. What are the most popular paths? So we don't have to show all the long tails, but we can say, okay, show me 80% of
on top of the path analysis, and we will see all the paths that match this criteria. But we are not limiting what are the steps in the middle. Okay? We're just saying, show us everything that is matching these conditions. And what we can see here, for example, we can see that we have a huge spaghetti, we don't know how to look at it, and we say, okay, you know what? Show me only the first 7 steps. That's enough for me to understand the cardinality now. So we can just, and we will show you in a very simple language, we can look at only the first 7 steps and understand what's going on here. And look what's going on here, okay? People are doing by panel, but they didn't purchase. They left the room. And let's understand why, what's happened. And we can see here that people are entering the room, they're registering, and the first thing they're doing here is going to collect their bonuses. Before they're starting to play, before the project, before everything, they're going to collect their bonuses. So we understand that we have something wrong in the mechanism of our game in this case, okay? And this is something that is popping up into our eyes immediately when we are looking at path analysis. We're trying to understand behavior. We are getting the information immediately. What is going wrong here?
So, the areas that people use CoolaData and in general these kinds of analysis can be pretty much endless. What we find is that the customers that we have that use it the most are people that are in media and publishing, in gaming, and in e-commerce. I'd like to show here this cohort, this path analysis here, which is actually based on some media publishing that clients that we have. And in this case, rather than looking at the path analysis of the user based on the activities that they are doing, you can also look at the path that people are taking based on the subject matter that they are reading. So let's say that I have a website that has articles about tech, about sports, about politics, about business, about entertainment. And actually what we see here is that, relatively speaking, they are divided equally between all those different areas or what people come to the site, to our destination in order to consume that content. But what we see is that as time goes on, some of them start breaking out into other areas. So some people come and do business and only look at business. And other people start in business and then suddenly move to sports. And perhaps maybe they do sports 3 articles into their path as well. And so now that person is much more interesting for our marketing people. Perhaps what they want to do is market to them a sports story rather than market to them a business story. These guys came for business but stayed for sports. So we can actually help out our marketing guys a lot more by understanding what the paths that people are doing on our application. I can even do that and say, okay, show me just the people that have actually changed topics, people that did not stay on the single topic. And I can just look at that and then again break down a little bit more in depth exactly where people are coming from and where they are going. This visualization can also, of course, be seen in table form. So show me people that did tech, sports. But this is a lot more difficult to read in my mind, so I much prefer the sunburst. We kind of want to go through a little bit more things that are actually quite interesting and unique in CoolaData, so I'm going to speed this up a little bit. You do these reports, and perhaps you have people you want to share those reports with. You can actually publish these reports on a regular basis, and you can have them go, you can share them with a group of people, let's say, through a weekly or a daily or so forth. Everybody gets the report through CoolaData. But you can also have them go straight to an email. So in this case, you get an email on a daily basis. A specific person will get an email on a daily basis with a report that's showing the last 7 days, the last 18 days, the last 28 days, whatever it is. You can show them these kinds of things. Also, we have a tie-in that you can do with that they could get this into their Google Docs. And when they get it into Google Docs, they can manipulate the CQL on that so that they can actually see what they're logging in. They can actually work with it and so forth. Perhaps change the report and so forth for future use. Also, we have tie-ins with, as I mentioned earlier today, we have tie-ins with a bunch of applications that are already preset. So if you have a Kachava, if you have a MailChimp account, and you have a whole bunch of data there, and you have your user data in some other place, you can match those, you can combine them in CoolaData to see how one system is affecting the other, or if you want to move information from one place to the other, you can actually see how they all mesh. We have a few other plugins like this that are coming down the pipe. They're going to be very interesting in the next couple of months. They're going to come through, but these are already very, very powerful.
It's really helping when you want to measure what is the critical position, for example. So you can just combine the data from a few data sources that means they are looking for data.
So lastly, what we would like to show here is
Prediction?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, so we are dealing in this area of big data. How many of you are data scientists here?
Everybody is interested.
Everybody, yeah. Yeah, so we cannot ignore, okay, this is the context word, data science, prediction, and since we already collected all the data, all the data, and we have all the information about the user, about their activities, about the time that each event occurred, and this data is available for you, and you can just extract it from CoolaData and start using machine learning methods in order to perform prediction, classification, clustering, and all these processes that we're using right now. So here's an example of work that we did in CoolaData, and we just created out-of-the-box classification model that is predicting churn. And we are predicting churn based on the behavior of the people. Because we already know what people were performed, what was the recency, how many sessions they performed, how many days they were active, what did they do. And this is, we just put inside all the numbers and how much they pay, and how much they decoded, and how much they, play and everything. We're just taking the behavioral, which is common for all the behavioral measures, and put it in an algorithm. And this is just an algorithm that we use. We use the random forest for the classification. This is something that you can all find on GitHub. We're just taking all the information about which events this user performed. And we were able to predict churn of our customers in accuracy of 85%. And this is very impressive because we can take it, some engine around that can be implemented in all the customers' sites.
So lastly, at the offset, we were talking about the questions and so forth that were on GitHub. As I mentioned earlier, CoolaData does collect information from GitHub and is available. If you go back to your office tomorrow and you get on and try and get information about GitHub, you can use CoolaData to see things that are going on there. These are the queries that are I don't think you asked that
He
question.
didn't ask a question. No, he just asked about the trending programming.
We asked them to ask what was the most trended topic on GitHub, and he could not ask, but this is the information that we have there. Are there any questions that we can answer?
Before we go on to questions, hang on. First thing I just want to mention, we are giving away a drone. So if you haven't had a chance to put your business card in, please do it. Does anyone need this? Raise your hands. Yeah. We'll give that away right after the Q&A. And just before we continue, I just want to first give a great big round of applause to Hagit. Presentation. Next question.
So is there a maximum levels of paths that you track or can do analysis on?
What's the question? The question?
Oh, the question was, you were showing user paths. Is there a maximum number of levels in the paths that I can look at? Because I noticed most of the graphs you showed had like a cap of like maybe 5 or 10 or something.
So you're not limited by the system in any way. It's just a matter of how many, does it actually make sense for you to actually look at. And at some point it just becomes mind-boggling, so you start limiting and you start looking for specific elements that are important to you in order to understand what happened there.
Well, I've worked with systems that have limits on how many they'll track, so that's why I asked the question.
Yeah, no, this one doesn't have limits.
Doesn't have anything. No, we didn't expose everything what we do. Also have some function. For example, we have something called pin path. So pin path is just extracting the first occurrence of the pin path and that's it. So it's not really.
How will you store your data? If I want to study the donor in three different time frame, like December 2012, 13, and 14, can I get that time frame, or is that always going to be set?
So the question was whether, how long is the data stored for? Whether or not you can actually go to historical information.
Okay, so it's unlimited, and the contract for anything to 1 year, but of course, and then letter and everything like that.
Closely related question to what's your pricing model?
We have salespeople to answer those questions for you, but you know, the reality is that it kind of depends on the number of events that you have on and how much we need to store. Yeah, so
based on what data
It's a
retention.
monthly
It's a monthly.
subscription, and that's 50 years.
Yes.
So how this whole system works, like even from customer side into the CoolaData, how they are registered, like do you need to inject some JavaScript into the customer sites or how it works?
Yeah, okay.
What is the
We
question?
prefer, okay, how, the question was how do we integrate the information from the customer application or site into the data. Okay, so as we mentioned before, we have JavaScript SDK that you can just implement in your website. But if you cannot implement the JavaScript SDK in the client side, we are also reading server-to-server data in REST API. We do support REST API. So if you cannot implement it in this side, we can also bring legacy data into CoolaData using the REST API.
And also can we have this thing on premises or like it has to be?
So the question is if you can run CoolaData on premises, and the answer is CoolaData lives in the cloud. We use Google BigQuery in order to get what we need and in order to do the magic that we do. So your data can be transported out to us, and then you'll get back the reports. But we don't currently have a model in which you're running locally all of your reports.
If we take the customer data, how the security works?
So how the security works, and that the short answer to that is we don't want data that is individual user data. We would prefer a situation in which you give us things that are masked. So if you have data about the users, anything that is identifiable for the user should be dealt through UID type situation. Give us stuff that is masked. We'll give it back to the report back to you, and you can transport it back in order to understand who the user is.
So the client need to involve themselves in the giving data to you and getting data from you. Both of them they need to involve themselves.
The client, the technical team does need to be involved in the transfer of information back and forth. Yes.
Could you describe what drove you to choose BigQuery instead of another platform?
Maybe.
Okay, we had some benchmark and we checked a few technologies. BigQuery was the best in terms of performance while digesting and processing a huge amount of data.
What is it about the problem that made that the result as opposed to another one? Is it just like the number of events, or is the latency, or? I'm just trying to figure out what is the exact nature of this large your problem that makes BigQuery better than another platform.
The number of events and complex queries that we're performing on top of these events. So for example, in order to achieve the good result in funnel analysis, when you have 7 steps in the funnel analysis, and as a person who knows SQL, you can imagine how much processing you have in the background. BigQuery was currently was the best technology in the market that we could find.
So another question is like, so is this everything works in like a batch mode only? Like say you send data, then you run analytics and then get the reports, or like is there something like in real time as well?
So the question was if you can do real time or if you have to do a transfer of data in batches.
Okay, so the answer of course is we do it real time. Even the regular real time.
Okay.
And what's your latency on that? What do you achieve? Can you give some numbers? How many requests you do in real time? When you're saying in real time, I mean, everybody will prefer to do anything in real time.
Yeah.
What are the numbers? How is it better? I mean, how is it better to alternatives? What are the alternatives?
The alternative is to have 1 file per day that is global information.
No. What are the alternatives from the technology perspective when you do in real time? And what are your benchmarkings, or what are your latencies?
Okay, we have latency which is maximum of 2 hours. Okay, but we have 2 types of queries. We can query the real-time database. This is like 2 minutes after we are receiving the event, it's already after the initial processing, and we can expose the results to the user. But for analytics and for having time analysis and funnel analysis that are longer because we're waiting for the session to close in order to match all the criteria that we have in this queries, we have maximum 2 hours latency.
Is that your kind of eventual consistency limit of 2 hours?
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying, if I'm correct, that the events which are coming into your system can take up to 2 hours to be settled there in order to be queried.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, in order to match all the queries that we're running on top of this.
Seriously, if you think about it, if someone opens up a browser and is trying to buy a pair of shoes and then gets distracted with having a cup of coffee and does not close the session, I can't do any faster than they're doing their thing. So I cannot guarantee any faster than what they're acting.
What problem are you trying to solve? Trying to just like let the rest of us know, is 2 hours a lot for you, or I'm
So,
just
for
curious
example-
what problem you're trying to solve?
So problem, for example, let us say I click some item, but I didn't like something on price or something. I moved away. Before I take action, I'm still on your side, right? So before I'm searching something else, maybe you can suggest something if it is happening in real time. So that's the kind of problem.
I think in analytic world, real time is not that important because we're trying to know the trend, we're trying to understand if we have problem in the traffic, if we have problem in the website, and we're looking for anomalies. And for this kind of analysis, real time is not that important.
That's right.
All right, that is all the time we have for questions, but we do have a raffle for a drone right now. And we also have, I think there's 3 shirts left. They're ladies' shirts though, so who didn't get one who's female? Anybody else? Sorry about that. Last one. Anyone want to give it to a female? Okay. So now for a really cool drone. Can I ask you to reach in there and just mix it up? Okay. Now can I ask you to look the other way and reach in and pull one out? And read it. Yeah. All right. Congratulations. You want to jump? Sandy and Hagit will be here for one-on-one questions. Come right up now and ask them. And thank you all for coming.